Let me ask each panelist to tick off 2 or 3 ideas in response to this general question: what more needs to be done to assure that planning is broad enough to encompass the different perspectives represented on the panel here today? So if you had 2 or 3 top-line recommendations, what would they be? And Joel, you're right next to me, so you're going to start.
Okay, well, insurance-wise, of course, it's really pushing back any fuels away from the home is kind of the principal thing that an insurer would look at as they're looking at your individual property. So, you have all kinds of things that might occur a little further away from the property that still could be problematic, but they're really looking, if they get down to that close of underwriting, to anything hanging over your roof line or that collects in your rain gutters, because they'd have to inspect every year to see if that's still an issue, right? They go out, you've cleaned your gutters. 6 months later, they could be full of debris again if there are trees hanging over your gutters. Insurers don't want to inspect your property. They want to look at something and know that's likely to stay the same and I don't have to spend the money to go look again. So take care of everything that affects your immediate house. I'll just stick with one.
I just want everyone to make sure they're registered with Alert Marin so that they get emergency notifications. You should have a plan on evacuation. There's checklists on the Fire Safe Marin website. Those are the 2 things. Have a plan and get registered for Alert Marin to receive emergency notifications.
I think the carbon benefits of reducing catastrophic fires that Leroy mentioned notwithstanding, I think the thing that I think we need to focus on in Marin is defining the problem. The problem is that our homes are burning and our families' lives are at risk during these major wildfires, and we can do things about that. I think the most significant thing that we haven't talked about at all tonight really is what we can do to harden our homes. If we can get to a point, it's going to take a long time. We know how to build homes that won't ignite during wildfires. If we can get to a point where the majority of our housing stock is resistant to ignition from wildfires, we've eliminated a big part of the problem. We've eliminated a lot of the carbon that's released during catastrophic urban conflagrations, and we've significantly reduced the risk to our lives.
And to me, it's really taking that multidisciplinary perspective. And, our county fire, as you heard, works very closely with our parks and open space. And I think that kind of collaboration and the input from different perspectives is crucially important, because I agree with Carrie. Home hardening is important, but that's not the only thing we need to do. And sometimes I think people think of defensible space as going in and raising everything around the house and then they feel safer. That's not the way to make sure that you have a resilient, sustainable, carbon sequestering yard, and that our environment is being treated the way it needs to be. And so I think it's getting that information from all of our good folks who are looking at these issues in a variety of ways. And then if you are taking steps to do the home hardening, you look at that as an opportunity to do something else that is going to increase the energy efficiency of your home and have an impact on reducing our greenhouse gas emissions. This is like a wealth of opportunities we have, and I think that we make ourselves less safe if we only focus on fire, and we make ourselves more resilient if we take the broader look and think of everything we're doing from a multitude of perspectives. Then we've enhanced ourselves in a very rich way.
So it's natural for people to take the recent experience and extrapolate from that and think that is sort of the basis of what they can expect to happen. And it's important to always keep in mind now that climate change is not like this one-off thing that happened and now we're done. It's an accelerating process. So no one alive today on the planet will ever experience a stable climate system again. And so we have to use the best science that we can to anticipate things that are very different from what we've experienced in the past. We can't limit our planning about the future to even just this recent past. So it really worries me when I see people saying this is the new normal, because there is no such thing as a new normal anymore. It's always going to be changing.
That's a good point. And I'd just like to reference a book that I recently found, and I interviewed the author. The book is called 2100, A Dystopian Utopia. And the book is written by architects, and they have planned out adaptation for humans to survive on a planet that has warmed by 4 degrees by the year 2100. Now, when they started 3 years ago, that was an acceptable projection, and we do believe that things are accelerating even faster than that. But it is a fascinating actual blueprint for human survival. And I'll just thumbnail it that the 2 most livable cities in 2100 will be Vancouver and Moscow. And there will be a Club Med at the South Pole. That gives you a sense. We will be either inundated or suffer from desertification in this part of the world. So it offers some hope for people who are looking for that, but also some pretty graphic and solid ideas about the level of change required for human life to survive. And Dr. Santora, your comment?
Learn Russian. No, just kidding. Get educated, honestly. The first step, visit readymarin.org. If you complete that step and complete all the actions there, go to a medical reserve corps, first aid for disaster response, and go to CERT. After getting educated, if you can volunteer, join one of your neighborhood response groups, join CERT, join the Medical Reserve Corps. And I'm really proud our Marin Interagency Disaster Coalition is coming together. So either if you're a faith-based organization or a social organization you're involved in, ask if they're engaged with the Marin, our volunteer organization assisting in disasters. We call it Marin Interagency Disaster Coalition. See if your organization is engaged and see if your organization is ready.
All right, thank you. I have one more